In the middle of a loud, busy city full of dreams and secrets, a dramatic story unfolded between two powerful people. Jim Jones was well known, charming, smooth-talking, and always surrounded by attention. But behind his confident smile, he hid something darker. He wasn't just influential, he was controlling, and he knew exactly how to pull people into his world. Brooke Bailey, on the other hand, was rising fast in the fashion world. She was beautiful, focused, and driven. Her career was on fire, modeling in big runway shows and signing deals many could only dream of. She was glowing with success. But then she met Jim, and everything started to shift. At first, Jim swept her off her feet. He knew how to make a woman feel special, and Brooke couldn't resist the excitement. Their relationship moved quickly. Jim opened doors she never imagined. VIP parties, luxury trips, rooms full of powerful people. It felt like a dream. She was pulled into a life that sparkled with fame and excitement. For a while, she loved it. She loved him. Or at least she thought she did. But as time passed, the shine began to fade. Behind the fancy clothes and red carpet smiles, Jim's true nature came out. His charm could flip into anger in seconds. One minute, he'd praise her like she was the most important person in the world. The next, he'd lash out, accusing her of things she didn't do, punishing her with silence or blaming her for his moods. It became a pattern. Love followed by rage, followed by apologies that felt hollow. Brooke kept hoping things would get better. She told herself all couples go through rough patches. Maybe he was just under pressure. Maybe he needed more love. But deep down, she felt uneasy. Something wasn't right, and soon, someone would confirm that. One night, during a high-end event filled with celebrities and flashing cameras, Jim's son pulled Brooke aside. He was young, nervous, but serious. His eyes told her everything before he even spoke. "You need to get away from him," he said quietly. "He'll ruin you. I've seen it before. He knows how to tear people down. He'll make you feel like you're nothing." His words hit her hard. She didn't know what to say. She had ignored the warning signs, convinced she could handle it. But now, hearing this from someone who grew up with Jim, someone who had lived through the damage, shook her to her core. The days that followed were heavy. Every moment she spent with Jim felt colder. The fun and luxury now felt more like a trap. The same parties that once made her feel alive now reminded her of how fake everything had become. She remembered the way Jim always needed control, how he planned her days, kept her away from people, made her question herself. It wasn't love. It was manipulation. Still, she didn't walk away immediately. She wanted to believe he could change, that there was still good in him. But his son's voice kept playing in her head. "He'll destroy your life." The breaking point came at another lavish party. The room was buzzing with music, laughter, and expensive champagne. Jim was in the center of it all, charming everyone with his perfect smile. Brooke stood across the room watching him, but when their eyes met, something changed. She didn't feel love anymore. She felt cold. She realized she didn't recognize the man she once thought she adored. And worse, she didn't recognize herself. That night, she made a decision. The next morning, she walked into Jim's office. He looked up, surprised to see her so serious. "Jim," she said, her voice shaking but strong. "I'm done. This isn't love. It's control." He exploded, yelled, accused her, tried to guilt her into staying, but she didn't flinch. She stood tall, remembering everything his son had told her, and all the moments she had doubted her own worth. She finally saw him for who he truly was, not powerful, but scared. Not strong, but manipulative. As she walked out, she felt like she could breathe again. Brooke left that life behind and focused on herself. The pain was real, but so was her freedom. She poured her energy into her work and surrounded herself with real love, the kind that lifts you up, not tears you down. She had survived Jim's world, and now she was building one of her own. Brooke Bailey had spent so long trying to be the perfect partner, giving up parts of herself to please someone who never truly valued her. But once she opened her eyes to the truth, she knew she couldn't keep living that way. Walking away from Jim Jones wasn't easy. He had woven himself deep into her life. Still, Brooke knew she had to choose herself for the first time in a long time. She began by reconnecting with old friends, the people who had loved her before the fame and flash. These were the ones who had noticed she was changing, becoming more distant, more guarded. Slowly, she started letting them back in. It felt awkward at first, but the laughter and comfort reminded her of who she used to be. She wasn't just Jim's girlfriend or a face on a billboard. She was Brooke, a strong woman with her own story. Finding her independence again came with challenges. Some days were harder than others. There were moments when she doubted herself, replaying memories and wondering if she'd made the right choice. But every time she stood on her own 2 feet, every time she made a decision without fear, she grew stronger. She started doing things for herself again, booking her own jobs, choosing projects that excited her, and surrounding herself with people who respected her boundaries. The glitz of Jim's world had once pulled her in like a magnet, but now it felt like a fog that had finally cleared. Brooke could see clearly now. She remembered how he used to control her time, limit her freedom, and disguise it all as love. But it wasn't love. It was power. And now that she was free, she vowed never to let anyone take her voice away again. One of the hardest parts was admitting how long she had ignored the signs. Jim's son had tried to warn her. His words still echoed in her mind. "He'll destroy you." And maybe he had almost succeeded. But she had pulled herself out before it was too late. His son had seen through the charm and lies, and now, so had she. That moment at the party, the one where their eyes locked across the room, had been a turning point. Everyone saw the same Jim they always did, the life of the party, smooth and confident. But Brooke saw something different. She saw the mask. She saw the fear, the manipulation, the control. And she knew then, without a doubt, that she had to leave. Now, as she rebuilt her life, Brooke felt something she hadn't in a long time: peace. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She wasn't walking on eggshells or hiding parts of herself to keep someone happy. She was just living, on her own terms. Her story became more than just a painful chapter. It turned into a lesson, a reminder that love should never cost you your freedom, and no amount of luxury is worth your peace of mind. Brooke's journey was about rediscovery, strength, and finding light even after walking through the darkest of shadows.